Hey everyone, it's Pastor Dave from St. John in Woodbury, Minnesota. Welcome to today's 5 minutes of hope. Today is Wednesday. It is the 6th of May. I was going to say April, but it's not April. It is May. And it's a beautiful day. So once again, it's sunny. It's nice and warm out here, or up here in Minnesota in the Bold North. And I hope that today's going well for you. As you can see in the background, I am doing today's devotion from home. I was really hoping to get this done in the office, but several things kind of got in my way. I wasn't able to quite get things done at home, or excuse me, at the office, so I get to do it at home. So you might hear some noise in the background, and that's just fine. Also, as you can tell, I'm dressed up a little bit nicer than normal. It is Wednesday, so today we did record our worship service for Sunday. So I did actually get dressed up once this week. So as always, I do pray that today is going well for you, that even with everything going on, that you are filled with peace, with joy, with hope, because of what Jesus has done for us. And so today, once again, got a joke for us. It is my infamous bear joke, and then also have some devotional thoughts on keeping our eyes fixed upon Jesus, especially during these times. So today's joke, it's one that I've shared numerous times, so you may have heard this one before. You might know the punchline. But this is one that tends to be a crowd pleaser. So odds are you'll laugh at it, or at least smile loudly at it. So hopefully you enjoy it. So this joke's about a pastor, or it's to be a priest, a rabbi, and a Baptist pastor. And they were getting together, and they were enjoying some food, some drinks, and they started to talk about church, and they kind of started to lament that they felt that nobody really listened to them. And in fact, after a while, one of them piped up and said, I feel like it's gotten so bad that it'd be easier to get a bear to listen to me than the people in my church. And the others said, I think you might be right. And so they're talking for a while more. And finally one of them says, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And so they all go out, and the next week they come back together. And the priest is pretty beaten up. He's got some scratches, got a black eye. He's got his arm in a sling. And they say, Father, well, what happened to you? He said, well, he went out to the woods, found a bear, and started to preach to him. And, he seemed pretty receptive. And so after a while, I decided, I think this bear is ready to be baptized. And, in the Catholic tradition, we just sprinkle the water on, on the person. And so it took a little bit of work. I had to wrestle the bear a little bit. I got a little beaten up. I was able to finally get some water on the bear and get him baptized. And then they looked over at the Baptist pastor. He was really beat up. So he had a couple of broken arms. His leg was in a cast. His neck brace. They said, well, what happened to you? He said, same thing. Went out to the woods, found a bear, and I started to preach, to this bear. Just preach and preach and preach and preach. And you know what? The bear seemed really receptive. And so I said, I think this bear is ready to be baptized. But in the Baptist tradition, we do a full immersion. So again, I had to wrestle that bear. It took a long time. It was a little bit painful, but finally got that bear down to the river, got him dunked, got him baptized real good. And then they turned to the rabbi, and the rabbi was in a full body cast. They said, well, Rabbi, what happened to you? He said, well, in hindsight, I guess I shouldn't have led with circumcision. There you go. There's your joke for the day. So again, hopefully you laughed at it, or at least smiled loudly at it. So again, a couple of quick devotional thoughts as we get ready to close out our day today. And today it's about keeping our eyes fixed upon Jesus. And these days, I think it's always true, but especially in these days, it can be so hard to keep our eyes focused upon Christ. It's so easy to get distracted by the things of this world. And right now, I've said so many times, you turn on the TV, you listen to the radio, you open the newspaper, you turn on your computer, all you ever hear about anymore is the virus. It is so easy right now to keep our eyes focused upon our earthly life. But God comes to us, he says, don't have your eyes focused on that alone, but keep your eyes focused upon Christ. In fact, Henry Nouwen, and again, I quote him all the time, he talks about the power of keeping our eyes fixed upon Christ, fixed upon our Savior, especially during the darkest of times, and the power that comes from that. And he writes these words. Let me share these with you. He says, you will always continue to have feelings of depression, anger, and restlessness. But when God dwells in the center of the storm, in other words, when we keep our eyes focused upon God, when we keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, the storm is less frightening and you can live with trust that in the midst of all the darkness, you will be led to a place of joy and peace. And so that's my prayer for us today. That whatever's going on in our lives, again, as we keep getting bombarded with news about the virus and the latest statistics and what's happening with the economy, that we would keep our eyes fixed upon Jesus in the midst of the storm, and knowing that as we do so, he will bring us through the storm and ultimately to a better place, that place where we get to dwell with him in paradise. So God bless you as you keep your eyes focused upon Jesus today.